Hi, this is Blastpop here. Today I'm taking a look at Germantown, Washington Strikes Back, October 4th, 1777, published by GMT, game designed by Marcus Miklos and Bill Madison. This is part of the Saratoga game series, otherwise known as Battles of the American Revolution. This is the 7th volume in that series and covers the 1777 battle in Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia. Washington Strikes Back. In this game, it uses a fairly simple system. If you're unfamiliar with the system, if you've played war games in the past and kind of preferred games of a simpler design, but yet having good strategic options, tactical options, and deep gameplay, this series may fit your needs. It comes in a 1.5-inch box, as you can see right here. Includes a period painting, and then on the back of the box it gives you a little history of Germantown, the map that's included, some of the pieces, and also gives you a sense of the history of the series thus far, up to the point that this was published in 2010. And if you kind of zoom in a little bit and look at the overall map, it contains information useful to play, so that the actual play area is somewhat compact because you have what you need at your fingertips. In any case, going from there, what's included in the package is some tactics cards, and this is reminiscent of the game 1776 by Avalon Hill, where each player will choose a particular tactic for the melee combat that they're about to engage in, and you cross-index your result, whether you're attacking and defending, with the other card choice of the opponent, cross-indexing that and gaining a modifier for that particular action. So depending on what the forces do, there could be some additional variability that is unexpected. Also included is a little bit of errata. You have a series rulebook, and you have a game rulebook. Fairly simple rules. If you take a look at it initially, you're getting into your sequence of play really quickly. Initiative, stacking, zones of control, movement, rifle fire, defensive artillery fire, close combat, and you have your combat results table, momentum shits, army morale, which reminds me of the old game of Alexander the Great by Avalon Hill, and where the impact of losing forces has a degrading effect on your ability to prosecute, I should say, the battle at hand, and then an expanded sequence of play. Looks procedural, but it's fairly simple. I've played a lot of Saratoga game in the past, as well as Monmouth and a little bit of Guilford Courthouse, and I do like the system very much. And it all comes in combined, including your cover sheet, a total of 12 pages. So the rules are not terribly difficult. You have exclusive rules book for Germantown. Weighs in at 16 pages. Sequence of play, which also includes specific things for this battle. For instance, moving Stevens formation, fog check, and then right off the bat they tell you how to win. The special rules applicable to this game, such as the fog as I mentioned before. Stephen's Shame. Nicely illustrated. Not in color. And then you got some pictures of the units involved. And then on page 8, you immediately go to a historical summary, which is how short the exclusive rules are, that they have enough room to include not only a nice historical piece, but also to make sure in your order of battle. But it also gives you a picture of the counters from the counter sheet to make sure that you have all your pieces if you've been playing for a while and you thought you might have lost one. So that's very nice. Also included is a player aid card, and there's actually 2 of them. Your army morale adjustments when you do things that impact the game. Your victory point schedule, leader summary, what happens, victory points and army morale based on what happens to them in the battle. Terrain effects chart. Close combat DRMs. Here's your tactical matrix, which you cross-index. And then you have a close combat table, which is odds based. You roll a d10, which is included in the game. And then you take the various modifiers, including what was achieved from the tactical matrix, and as well as various other modifiers that were listed up here. Your rifle and artillery fire, fairly simple, based on ranges, the type of unit firing, and your die roll. And then you have your damage tables to see what actually happened. You have a Solitaire Matrix, so that you want to play this game solitaire. You don't have to use the cards or try to second guess yourself, which can be challenging. This was designed by Joel Toppin. In the past, I used a D10 table that basically was a bell curve that was available on Board Game Geek to quickly resolve the modifiers without having to really take into account too much on the battlefield. This looks to be somewhat superior, although a little more involved, although the instructions, which are included on the back, are listed here, so it shouldn't be too difficult to implement, and I want to give this a try at some point in the near future. The counters, 1 counter sheet, white core, not as thick as the brown core, but not particularly thin for the white core style of counters. Your British, I believe your Hessians, your Americans, you got your Continental Army and your militia, essentially. And then you have some erratic counters here for the Brandywine game as well. And you also have the ability to pick chits if you want instead of using the cards for your tactics. And some system markers, momentum. And on the back side, your reduced values for the most part. Very nicely done. Aside from that, you get some baggies, and then you have the map. Very nicely done. It seems to have a historical feel to it. It's feels period-like without being too ornate, for lack of a better way of describing it. And then the game runs a total of 10 turns. And as I indicated before, you got some tables on the map here to show you various results. What happens at friendly fire. So you have Germantown right here, and you have the Schuylkill River, and very nicely done. I like the artwork in all the games in this series. And while I've never been a big fan of the American Revolution, I am a fan of this game series, as they are fun and playable games and can be completed typically in not a lot of time. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Blastpop. Bye.